Hi, welcome to my tube. My name is Margie. I'm a Elk Empath, and I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Today I feel pretty good. It's early. Mom just got up and around, so I got about an hour window before I make her breakfast. She's got to wake up. She sleeps hard every night. I think our sleep time, whether you sleep during the day or at night, it's our spirits venturing out into to higher perspectives, higher dimensions. That's why in our dream state, where our spirits venture off to, we often see loved ones because they're in the highest vibration of love. They're in source, man. The ones that have passed on, they're in source. They are source. They went back to source. That the feel good. Some people have a hard time with feel good. I know I did. Well, because the vibration of love and freaking like extreme terror, vibrationally, they're very close. But fortunately enough, more people feel the vibration of love in their younger years and less of the vibration of terror. So, they don't get mixed up like I do. I sort it out. I sort it out. But I found my love language. My love language. I remember reading that book when I was I was like 15. What's your love language? I read all those books. What color's your parachute? Richest Man in Babylon. I'm like the weird kid Goldbergs for pop culture in the 80s and 90s, but it was more for the shadow side of everything and for the spiritual journey of it all, because I've always been looking for answers until I started going within, and that's when they really started coming. Yeah. Emotional intelligence opposed to mental midgets. I guess only a mental midget would be offended if you called them a mental midget, and they probably recognize themselves as a mental midget because they probably are just telling themselves that they've been a mental midget their whole entire life, and all they can hear is "you are not smart," "you are," and all this stuff, So that why bother? Why bother? I don't bother doing a lot of stuff just because it was funny yesterday. This was kind of neat. I've been trying to decide on these custom flash drives to do the design and the font and the label and stuff for my SnapNax thing, right? Right? Like a year I haven't done it because it's just like I go and then the interface is a nightmare, and it's just so I put it off and I don't do it. And I'm talking to someone and well, clearly pretty significant. I can't even get the rest of the story out. and she just goes, "Why do they have to be custom?" And I was like, "Holy hell! I could just go down to up to Staples and buy freaking like 5-6 packs of freaking USB thumb drives whenever I need. Cause I ain't bells and whistles, man. I'm authenticity and all that stuff. I get, so when companies and organizations and stuff are constantly changing their brand, they're putting their money into doing that. And all that money that they're putting, it's wasteful to me. And that could be like passed on to the savings of people, more fun projects, stuff like that. But no, people don't spend their money wisely. And then they make so much of it. And then they just keep buying more of the things that are really expensive. And then they're like, oh crap. And then something happens. They're like, I can't afford all this. But some people like me live within their means. And we're just like, oh, we're just happy with this and this, As long, it's about balance. Everything is about balance. And it's people are figuring it out. And for that, I'm grateful. So, George, sir, thank you for your contribution to your source. I appreciate for what you've done to the collective so that they can see another example of might over, right? It ain't correct. It ain't that way. We've been watching this scenario. I have witnessed it closely since Rodney King. Yeah, 1989. Yeah, I remember that's the only deployment. Anyway, young boys, that's their experience, and freaking some young boys have way more experience, so they ain't playing, man. They ain't playing. But they can do a lot more with less anyway. We've been seeing this scenario, and that's why I'm a dick. See, I'm an asshole, and I talk about how dumb cops are, because when I was in the Air Force, they're the lowest freaking test scorers, second to lowest. They're just not smart, and then you just give them guns and give them cars and do things to stroke their ego, because they're oh so important, the security and the safety, everyone. But see, their egos get out of control because of the mentality that goes into that field. A lot of people go into it, I just want to help people. Did those 4 cops in Minnesota look like very helpful to you? They didn't look very helpful. See, now if they had to get an education like other people did, or if everybody had a proper education, maybe more police would know about physics, and they would understand that a man's esophagus is about this big around, and it's no more sturdier than maybe a stick of bamboo. It's kind of sturdy, but still, everything has its breaking point. So when a weight of a man that looked probably about 6'2", 6'3", maybe, and they all let themselves go. They're all overweight. So you pull the full body overweight. It's physics, see. They need to be educated so they know about physics when they put the weight of a full man on the little itty bitty esophagus of another man. That other man likely isn't going to get up. Now that's karma. That man, and see, because he had an opportunity. He was making a point. He was power, dominance, control. Yeah, the stander. Yeah. Do it my way. But when you have the consciousness that we're all connected, we're all connected, we're all the same, you just plainly don't treat people like that. You just don't. You don't. And that other guy, the Bros Club, the father-son dynamic freaking duo that freaking shot the jogger in Georgia. There's still 2 separate parks in southern states. See, there's the letter of the law and the heart of the law, and in the spirit of the law. And the spirit of the law has been very, has been very dark for a long time. It's been void of spirit, actually. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Took a little picture this morning. I was reminded of this. I remember this because I stopped getting flu shots about 10, 11 years ago. When I worked at Creighton, when I first started working in radiology, because what a nurse said, she verified what I had always suspected, and I knew it here and there. And she's like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, yeah. I said, why do you think people... I said, do you think it's placebo? Do you think it's power of suggestion, that when people get a flu shot, that they start to feel sick and run down? She's like, no, because there's strands of the flu they put in the vaccine. And I was like, oh. Like vaccine for venom, like snake venom. And she's like, well, I don't know a lot about that. And I'm like, okay, well, I have, because I grew up around rattlesnakes, snake venom. They actually put the venom, of the bite, And she's like, okay, well, yeah. And I was like, well, that makes sense. So we have placebo, right? And how much cognitive dissonance does that take? Because you have mainstream that says, no, we don't do that, and then you have science that says we do. So when people get the shot and they start to feel run down, but it's not gonna like take you out, kind of thing, unless your chemistry isn't susceptible to that concoction, and then it very well could poison you and taking you out. But oftentimes it's more to the reaction of the foreign bodies in your freaking clean ecosystem that it's like red alert kind of sensitivity. It's most sensitive. That's what sickness is sensitivity. Is that you're freaking doing too much in some area of your life and not enough in the other, and there's an imbalance. And usually it's sleep. Like when people first start getting in, they meet someone they're in love, and they're trying to do their life and then spend every waking moment with the person that they want to see because they get that chargy feeling. Yeah, you get burnt out. Something's got to give. Usually it's your body. So I came across this little tidbit, and this is on Facebook, and this verifies what I just said. And I went down the ant holes this morning, went on a little path this morning about it, and this was, the source is the Alchemist's Kitchen, but it was, the origin is 1796 by scientist Edward Jenner, Bacillus description. A vaccine is a substance given to initiate the production of antibodies. So it's like, I look at that as when your car battery dies and it's a little low and you have to introduce an outside electrical source into that system to charge your car battery. Substance given is to fight the sickness, or like when I was in basic and we got roll call, everybody come out, wake up and get out. So it's to wake something up. Vaccines work by teaching one's immune system, I'll show you, to recognize and destroy foreign pathogens as a virus or bacteria. For this to work, a small amount of molecules of the given bacteria, the original bacteria or virus, must be introduced into the system or the body in order for it to store a memory. Remember this? Fear. Remember this? So when every time something scary happens, you're like, because of every scary thing that's ever happened. And trigger an immune response. Flight or fight. That's what happens. So you put something in you, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I stopped putting stuff in me a long time ago. You know what though? There's so much good stuff, and that medicine has to offer. And I believe in medicine. It's the heart space behind the freaking cretin concocting the concocting stuff. When it's all those people that they're making up stuff, not because they care about people, because it's clear, folks. It's clear. The powers that be do not care about people. They care about money and numbers. They do. Because more and more people are acquiring higher numbers and money, and less and less, and more people are slipping through the cracks. So it's clear. Let's just talk about things for how they are. Governments aren't here to help people, because if they were, they wouldn't. 536 people would not be paying themselves the minimum annual salary between those 535 people, $95 million. When people like my mom, who would be institutionalized if I did not take care of her in a heartbeat, and they would say, oh, this, because she's a person, we need $5,000 a month to, the country recognizes that the state needs $5,000 to take care of her and employ the workers to make sure that she's taken care of, because we care about people. And the reality of it is if they did, that would go directly to her, so I could take care of her, but they don't. Less than $800 a month, her and millions of other Americans are living off of. While these fools are dancing around like fucking herding cats, touting the fact, in their arrogance of all that they have, while the cracks keep getting wider. And then men like George have to contribute to source so much earlier than he needed to. I know he was void of spirit. I know that he was void of spirit. He was, and he probably told the dude about himself, and the dude didn't like it. How many people are incarcerated right now just because people talk shit? And then they find stuff out that they don't like about him. I mean, really, how many people are in institutions right now because they know the reality of who the people are behind the badges and the situations, but they just get locked up. But guess what? It's 2020. It's the year of clear vision, and the planets are lining up for the fucking truth to come out. And you can't hide the truth. People try. Mom said that my whole entire life. I just tell people, I did it. I did it. I did it. It was me. I don't put my hands on people. I'm not violent. I'm passionate. Some people look at passion as aggression, and then that makes me a threat because they're fearful people. Go over in the corner and fucking hug yourself. Or piss yourself. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do to sort yourself out and learn how to soothe yourself. Because ain't nobody on the outside world going to do it for you. Or if they are, be glad that they're there to do it for you. But you're going to come to a time in your life where you're going to face something and you're going to be all by yourself. And you're going to have to figure something out. And it's going to be hard and it's going to be scary. And maybe you'll get out of it and maybe you won't. See if there's anyone in the talkie room. There's 6 people in the talkie room. Can I help? I got PayPal. I don't know what what my PayPal rule is. My PayPal rule is this. I got people that can contribute sometimes, and I freaking love that. I keep 49% of whatever they contribute to me, and I take that 51% of that, and I go buy that, or I go do something, and I can give you a couple examples of things that I do. I have a hard time doing this. I'm going to keep the ones that I like doing myself. I'll give you examples of because some of them are private and I like keeping to myself. And given the opportunity, I'll go to other cities and talk, be able to share, do talks and stuff. Dude, when I was in recovery, they freaking had conferences. Everybody has a fucking conference, you know. And they don't even have a budget for things, but they have a prudent reserve. I mean, anyway. But they have people that fly in from all over the United States for conferences to just share their experience and strength and hope. And I'm like, I can do that. I did it for years. I got my talk. I got 2 talks on CD and 1 talk on cassette. I'm multimedia. 3 times because I got talks here too. I'm sure someplace I'm on VHS. Anyway. So I would go to town and then I would go out after hours or before, you know, and do my little deeds and meet the people. Meet the people of the streets. The people in the street, they're the vibration. They're the heartbeat, because every pulse of a heartbeat in a city, in a vibe of a city, where it draws people to make you want to live there because their vibe is like that vibe of the city, it starts with the people at the lowest. Negative, positive makes spark. Yeah, they're just the less tolerant ones that don't want to put up with the bullshit. So I keep 49%, I pay 51% forward, and I'll do that forever. I don't care if somebody gives me $10,000. I will give away. I will get the cash and I will go out and I will just randomly meet people and give them cash. Because I don't care about money. I just want to help people. It's nice to be able to make some friends though, because I'm foolish, so people dress up, they act away, they want, playing Marge's heartstrings, and I just keep, Sometimes people like Marge, there's other people that need it more than they are. They're not being 100, okay, because I'm not 100%, I miss things. I miss things. I miss things all the time. And then it's like, but I don't want to start second guessing myself, because that's when people are like, that's when freaking people start losing it, is when they start second. I'd rather be wrong and then learn the lesson and be like, okay, where did I make the mistake? Then. So, George is in a better place today. His spirit, may he rest in peace, George, from Minnesota. I won't forget your service. And those, It's just like every time I see these, it's like if these guys had to freaking go run a lap and freaking meditate and stuff like that, they would have the emotional control and the presence of mind. It's the presence of mind. The sound it's mind is what they don't have, and they go, and it's that whole, it's the misogynistic complex, and it's in women too. It was in me for years. It was hard for me to find my sensitive side. It was because I saw it as weakness. I did. I looked at turning, no, you fight and all that stuff. No, that's all ego. That's all ego. You don't hurt people. You don't put your hands on other people. You don't put freaking stuff that is invented in a lab in something that is 100% natural. You don't do that. You do that less and less. Yesterday, I ate for lunch. I ate a bowl of Parmesan Brussels sprouts, and for dinner, I ate the rest that Mom didn't like, and some cucumber. I always get zucchini. I always get zucchini and cucumber mixed up because they look the same. So I have to physically stop, picture cutting into the vegetable I have, and then looking at the texture. We're just computers, man. What kind of input data are you putting into you? God. And I had a lot of reasons to be like, God, my life is shit. My life is shit. My life is shit. Mom won't get away from this guy. He beats the shit out. He's a freaking drunk. He beats the shit. People think kids don't know what's up, man. Dude, kids these days, kids always know what's up. See, what happens is kids are they're incarnated and they know what's up more than we do because they have closer recognition to their previous incarnation. And they're closer to all the knowledge, of past. And they're just trying to incorporate that into this library of life. So, and depending on the parent, if the parent is allowing, or their environment, because not everybody has parents, and depending on if the environment that they're, is nurturing and they're allowed to grow in that, and be like, oh, you think you were Carl Jung in a past life? That's cool. What? Tell me all about it. Whatever, Our DNA is just, it's our operating system. And our spirit is all wrapped up in there. And we just go through our operating system, reboot. And then when we die, it's like our operating system gets rewiped. And then at incarnation, the power's turned on. And then you start looking at what you want to browse at. And are you going to look at stuff that's freaking going to get close to a higher vibration feeling love? Or that freaking chasing sensation freaking... I always thought it was weird when I was a little kid, and sex ed and stuff like that. Junior, I was Nova, I was 15. Mr. Makinson. He was a good-looking guy. He looked like, he was like the, and he knew he was a good-looking guy, too. He's probably Leo. He had that mustache, like the Tom Cruise vibe. Not Tom Cruise, fucking, God, no. Tom Selleck. Magnum PI. Yeah, that, but the Corvette driving fucking, that whole, anyway, girls loved him. I was just like, what a fucking meathead. I don't know. Anyway. I know the type. And I've known him my whole life. Anyway, so they're like, oh yeah, guys think about sex 15, 20, 30 times a day. And I'm just like, well, that's because you tell yourself that, Goldilocks. That's because you're telling yourself what you want to think about. I want to think about science. Yeah, I like girls. I love girls and all that stuff. I'm a very sexual being. But this incarnation is about balance. So that's a small part of who I am. For a big part, or a big part of who I am for one person. That ain't for everybody. Some things are still sacred, y'all. So... people are coming into their emotional intelligence because they got nothing but time to think about shit right now, and I've had nothing but time to think about shit for 3 years. All the data I've collected for years and years and years and years, 2 years. And then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Like on these lights back here, and I look at these lights, all the lights are connected. If like because of the pattern on the light source. It's like the top of a disc. It's like a top of like a like the octagon thing. I don't think it's called octagon because there's way more shapes. But they have one at the like Safari Land at the Omaha Zoo. That shape. I got a lot of pictures though. I used to just put my headphones on, go down to the zoo, and forget. And I everywhere I go, I just pretend I'm the only one there, just because people are just in my way. They're just in my way. Yeah. So, anyway, I just want to get on around my lawn and stuff. Oh, my PayPal, I never even said what it was. It's straightpeoplelikeRainbows2@gmail.com. I got the t-shirt. I had it on yesterday. I didn't show people. Then I just changed my t-shirt about an hour ago. I'll just get it. It's just right here in the laundry. Don't be lazy, March. Don't be lazy. Show people your t-shirts. I got a few for sale. I actually sold some and then freaking flaked out. I owe these people a t-shirt, so I haven't entirely flaked out. What my plan was is what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring it to them personally, is what I'd like to do. And they're all over the country. Maybe it'll be possible, maybe it's not. But see, I came up with this idea when I was like 9. I ain't come out. I mean, I was one of those everyone knew, but you just didn't talk about it. Sorry, I got an itch on my nose, and I thought it'd be more appropriate to use my shirt than my hand. If I was by myself, I would have just used my hand. But I'm trying to ascend. So, yeah, I do have a few. Yeah, I came up with that because I had an Uncle Kelly. My mom was adopted, and so was my Uncle Kelly, and he was homosexual. He did hair, and that's my special place in my heart for people, hair, and maybe that's probably where my fondness for hair and beauty and all that, and the appreciation of how good people could feel good with the haircut, and it's just, I could just go on weird kid bounce about hair. Anyway, he did hair in San Francisco in the 70s, and I would sure like to find people that knew him if they're still around. He's a good man. It's the first time I saw human ashes. Mom brought some home in an envelope. Anyway, I didn't know him very much. I have a picture of him. He has a red hat on. I have a red hat. He had a great smile. But mom missed him. So, it's because mom misses him sometimes. So, anyway, Kelly. So when I was 9, they came out with the rainbow flag, somewhere around there. Actually, it was earlier that, but that by the time it's the rainbow flag seat from Castro in the Bay Area up to Redden, the armpit of California, and into the radar of my little 9-year-old face. You know, it's like gay people. I'm like, you know, and I was like, oh, there's a word for what I am. So that was cool, you know. People that like the same, you know, and then it's like, oh, people don't like people like that. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, people don't like me anyway, so what else is new? Let's just give them another reason. So, and I was like, well, that's not fair, because everybody likes rainbows. That's not fair. You can't take rainbows. You can't. Rainbows are for everybody. So I got that stuck in my little weird kid head. Straight people like rainbows too. And then finally, you know, fast forward, freaking get a relationship with someone that has an embroidery business. Thanks, Uncle Sam. Let me. And then have some t-shirts made, you know. And that was after we broke up. We were cool for a little bit until we weren't, but I don't know. Things change. That's the thing is I learned a long time ago you don't ever close your heart for all times. You can't shut your heart for all times because because you got to allow for people to change and grow and be different too. You know, you can't just be the only one. I mean, yeah, we're in the eye of the beholder, but we're all just a little freaking tap into what we're all beholding the same thing. We're all witnessing the same thing. It's just our account of it, yeah. And a lot of times our account of things are perceived by our account of things that we've seen before. Yeah. Frame of reference. It's all data collection. I feel like I've run out. How long? I've been talking for a while. I think that is a good place to wrap up. Mr. Astrology, I'll wrap up on this. I've been this comes from the WWW Universal Truth. I don't like Truth School. That's Truth Schools. I think it's cool that I guess they should. Just money is so stupid, but I found a pretty cool chart about the salts and the phosphates and stuff like that are commonly missing in certain astrological signs. Yeah. So that's what I've been tripping out on lately. Stuff like that. So I'm just trying to... But at the same... Oh, I know what I want to end up on. I'm trying to get a place in my life where I can listen to people that I don't... See, because we're all chemistry, right? You know, you have people that make you feel good, or nobody makes you feel any kind of way. It's how you receive them. But... anyway, too many thoughts. Is why sometimes it's hard for me to do lives, because if I know that more people are watching, then I'm like picking up on their energy, and it's like adrenaline. So, since my train of thought ended, I'm going to come back to that later. I got my notepad right here. I'm going to make notes of it. I'm going to put together in a more pragmatic way what I was just going to talk about, because I could go on forever, or another 20 minutes on that. And I'll be back later sometime between 5 and 6. God willing and the creek don't rise, and, you know, barring nothing comes up, sometime later this evening I'll be back and I'll finish up that train of thought. Because it derailed for a reason, so we'll just leave it there in the ditch for a bit. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.